Hello and welcome back. My name is Mary Grace Fahrun, also known as Rue of Rue's Kitchen, and today's video is Malocchio Part 2, Diagnosing. So, for those of you of Italian origin, you may be familiar with the bowl method to diagnose. Today we're going to cover we'll call it two methods of diagnosing. One will be the gli antichi, gli zii, the old way of doing it, the old world way of doing it, and then we'll briefly touch upon the my 21st century method of diagnosing, because honestly, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty hardcore and I really do not carry this stuff in my purse. So let's begin. The way we diagnose Malocchio, that was taught to me from Z, and the way it's done pretty much universally is with a bowl of water, olive oil, and some people like to use a spoon. So I just want to make sure that I'm in the frame here. Okay. So, this is for diagnosing. So just bear in mind, today we're just going to look at how do we diagnose for Malocchio. So, someone phones you or a family member tells you, or whatever the case is, they have a headache, or they have a stomach ache, or they're just not feeling right, or they just suspect that they have Malocchio, that they're afflicted. Well, a quick way of checking if they have Malocchio is with the oil and water method. All right, okay, so here goes. We're all ready? All right. So some people like to I just pour it into the bowl, but some people like to use a spoon. So I'm going to do a little bit both ways so that you could see what it looks like. So you carefully, with a steady hand, drop the olive oil. Or you do it with the spoon. If the olive oil remains intact, the way that it landed in the water, for instance, like this, Malocchio is not present. So to demonstrate, I'm going to have to manipulate the situation a little bit. So this person that I'm thinking about right now is not afflicted with Malocchio. Notice the oil is not moving. The oil remains separated from the water. And this person is fine. Carry on with your day. Now I'm going to use the spoon just to demonstrate. Suppose all this oil started to move. Oh, you see? You can't mess around with magic, right? It's like, it doesn't matter what I do, this oil is not going to glom together. Or I tried to burst the oil bubble so that it would spread and you could see what it looks like with Malocchio, and it didn't work. So there's pseudo-scientific proof that this is, magical and effective. So that's it for this way of diagnosing. So we're done with this. I'm going to put this in the sink. So now, oh my God, I'm looking at this mappina. Do you see this mappina? Okay, so if my zia was still alive, she would say, Mary Grace, why don't you iron the mappina? You knew you were going to be on camera. Why didn't you iron it? And I would say, Matsitsi, why? It's like, who's going to care? It doesn't matter, whatever. And she'd say, well, no, it doesn't matter what other people think and who's going to care. It's wrong. And it looks bad. And you're not a good housewife. So you see, it's so nice to visit with family. Anyway, and that's my late Zia, So that is so we went over the traditional way to diagnose Malocchio, and you saw that even when I tried to manipulate the oil in the bowl, it didn't change. Now, what do? It's the 21st century. You're out and about. You suddenly have a headache. You feel sick to your stomach. You're having a panic attack for no apparent reason with no history of panic attacks. A sense of impending doom. A string of bad luck. How do you diagnose for Malocchio? Well, let me give the example with the headache. So if someone has a headache and they've taken a pain reliever and the headache has not gone away, and usually people will say words like migraine or you know, they'll say migraine or headache. Or first you ask, where's the pain located? If it's anywhere within the the temples or behind the eyes, it's potentially Malocchio. They've taken a pain reliever and it's 40 minutes and the headache still persists. Then you would check for Malocchio. But you're not at home and you don't have your handy dandy bowl of water and you don't have your olive oil. What do? You ask the qualifying questions. Have you taken a pain reliever? Did you eat today? Are you hydrated? Did you drink enough water today? Have you been in the sun, in the hot sun without, a hat? Have you been doing any kind of reading or writing or work on the computer without your glasses? Have you strained your eyes? It's basically, because my background is healthcare, I go through an assessment process. Once you've ruled out all possible reasons to have a headache and the pain reliever was not effective, you can safely assume that it's Malocchio, and you can just go ahead without the bowl of water, without the salt, without any props. Just go ahead in your mind, do the Malocchio cure incantation with the prayer, and then, ask the person how they feel in about 15 minutes after you've done that. A tell that you have removed Malocchio is that when you're done your incantation and your prayer, is the person doing the cure yawns. It's involuntary and it's bizarre and it's so freaking cool because you can't help yourself from yawning. That means that there was Malocchio present. So not only did you go through the assessment to make sure that it wasn't any other cause for the headache, then you know that your cure worked because you yawned. And then when we talk about the cure in part 3, I'll talk about, well, what if it's a persistent Malocchio that, you kind of took the edge off it, but it's still there, what to do in that case. Now, there was something else that I wanted to mention in this vein when it comes to diagnosing. And I think it had something to do with, well, I don't remember. Isn't that great? And I'm like the one take person, so you're going to have to wait until I remember. No, I'm not going to do that. When it comes to mind, I'll talk about it in my next video, which is going to be part 3, the cure, and how you go and remove Malocchio, how you could do it to someone who is immediate to you, like in your immediate surroundings, to distance, and all that. And that's it for today, I guess, because the other thought's gone. I guess it wasn't important, like they say. So thank you again for tuning in. Anything that I've forgotten to mention in this video will be brought up in the next video, because I'll make sure to make a note of it. And I'd like to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for sharing my videos. Thank you all for subscribing. Thank you all for being here, because if you weren't here, I'd just be talking to myself. Have a great day. Sta benedic.